Well guys, 36 past the MOT, 5 minutes later, got T-boned. As you may have seen from that video just there, unfortunately, after spending quite a lot of time trying to get my 36 convertible back on the road, after not having an MOT, having an engine swap, having all the underside refreshed, you know, the lot, you cannot make this up. I left the MOT station, it passed, had the roof down, lovely hot sunny day, enjoying my drive back. 5 minutes later, literally 5 minutes later, some lady pulled out of a side road without looking and T-boned me. Here is the vert in its current state. As you can see, the rear quarter is not straight anymore. It did also clip the wheel, which to be fair, they could have done with a refurb anyway, so it's not the end of the world. I've not actually had the alignment checked, so it's probably knocked some stuff out, because we did actually have to pull this wing out for me to actually then be able to drive the car home, because it was rubbing on the tyre because of obviously where it's been pushed in. So the trim that was on the door has seen better days. It has also scuffed the door, but to be fair, I don't think it was ever dented, so that could have just been probably polished out and maybe blended in. But obviously the rear quarter is quite a big job. Obviously this left me in a bit of a dilemma of what do I do? So I got a quote for the repair, which was not cheap. For how much I paid for the car, considering it was not running, the quote was obviously just a bit ridiculous. And the car does still need some other stuff doing. The roof needed to be fixed, the interior needed to be replaced really, and then that's without doing anything else that I would actually want to do to it. That's just actually getting it in one piece. So obviously, because the other person was at fault because they drove into me, went through the insurance, they've paid me out for the repair and basically said, do what you want, fix it, don't, keep the money, do what you want. And I thought about it and I thought, it's just too much money to put into a car that isn't going to be worth that at the end of it. And it breaks my heart. This colour is so nice. It actually does really upset me because it looks so cool, even when it's crashed. Look at it. Look how cool that looks for something that we got running, chuck some wheels and coilovers on it. That's gangster. That's like mob wife car. But the story behind this is that when I wanted to get an E36, I didn't actually want to get a convertible. After a compact, they're probably like the least desirable type of a 36. You know, everyone loves a saloon, everyone loves a coupe, everyone loves a touring. Verts are a bit Marmite and compacts the ugly duckling, arguably. No offence if you have one. Quite a good deal came up. Welcome to my coupe. So I did actually want a coupe initially, but the vert came up cheap, pretty colour, you know, magpie eyes, and I just got it. I took the vert getting crashed into as a sign that I shouldn't have a convertible, to be honest with you. Like that, to me, that was like the universe telling me, like, you didn't want this, you shouldn't have got it. Bin it off. There's the vert. Here is its replacement. Let's talk about this. This is my 1994 pre-facelift E36. It is in Boston green, which is a very nice colour. Currently the bumpers and the skirts which are in the car are fern green, so they do need to be painted, but I mean, to be fair, from a distance you can't really tell. The engine in this is an M50B25, which I hear is the good one, or a good one, because apparently you can turbo it and it's pretty solid and you can overheat it a million times and it'll be fine because it's like an iron block. I don't know, I'm new here. So I'm pretty happy for what I paid for it based on what the engines go for. It has got M Sport bumpers, which is nice. As I say, the skirts, I have the M Sport skirts, they are inside of the car. M Sport rear bumper too, has got some lack appeal, but obviously I'm learning to paint, so I can do that at some point when I do bumpers and whatnot. Currently, I will admit it does look really ratty, mostly because it's on steelies, which obviously they look horrendous. Where obviously the skirt should be, it's basically primer. So obviously once I put the skirts on, that'll tidy up. There is just a couple of tiny little bits of like ginger coming through, but it's not actually rusty. Underneath is mint, so that's good news because I'm sick of rusty cars. Also, this is the first car I've bought in a very long time that actually has MOT. Obviously when I bought the Vert, it didn't have MOT. When I initially bought the Loon, it didn't have MOT. The 46 that I've got there doesn't have MOT. For this to have MOT until April, so I actually was able to drive it home, which was sick. And it's actually only done 1,000 miles since the last MOT, because it's kind of just been sat because the guy has too many cars, and he's had it for a while, and before he had it, he'd looked after it for someone else for a while. So I've got a whole stack of paperwork. There's a lot of things I could tidy up. I mean, this looks awful, but essentially once I can actually I'll just wire wheel all this coating off, just treat that and paint it, that'll be mint. Side probably looks a little bit worse, but yeah, literally that'll come off, and then I can just scotch that back and paint it. So we'll take a little look inside. Obviously it is green over tan, which is quite a goated colour combo. And I'm going to say this actually, because I used to hate tan interiors. I think that tan interiors are something that I've very much grown to appreciate as I've got older. And it's the same thing as like when you're younger, you think like, oh, let's put black wheels on a car, it'll look cool. But actually you grow up and you're like, no, silver wheels. Green over tan, goated colour combo. It is currently automatic, but I have a full manual swap for it because it's the one I was going to put in the Vert but then didn't. So that'll go in here eventually because I do want this to be manual. Side skirts are in here ready. I've got the template and the clips on order to actually be able to fit them. Everything that it looks like it's missing, it has. So glove box thingy is fallen off, but that is in the car somewhere. Driver's door card is somewhere in the boot. I do have a radio behind the back seat, but that needs an adapter. It came with a whole bunch, including this massive box. I mean, I have actually got I've got some spare taillights in there, but I've got like loads of trims. I've got like 300 quid's worth of parts in this box, and they're all like random little things. Like, well, we've got like fuel filters and oil filters and stuff, but there's just like loads of OEM BMW sealed stuff. So that's pretty cool. I will fully go through that at some point and see what I've actually got. And also it's got the rear privacy blind, which apparently I think is rare loot for a E36. This is a nice angle, but we've got some typical headliner sagginess. So I will obviously be sorting that out at some point. But, you know, working sunroof, that's great because, you know, don't have aircon. I feel like I've got pretty lucky with this because it is very unmolested and it's been really well looked after, and it is a stock car. So I'm going to try not to ruin it too much. I'm not going to do like a stancy build because obviously that wasn't really what I wanted to do with the Vert anyway. I just kind of wanted to have something I can actually just enjoy and not stress about. So that's still going to be the vibe that I want to go for with this car. However, I also want to be able to drive it and enjoy it. So what I want to do really is have it as obviously like a road legal car, but with some tracky stuff. So I'm thinking, obviously I will probably get another exhaust on this, because the thing is the Vert sounds sick because it's got a really savage exhaust on it, and this, although like nice 6-pot noises and stuff, obviously it is quite quiet because it has got the original exhaust. It's got both cats in, I believe. So I will probably put a back box on it at some point. I'm going to keep the cats, I think, just to avoid MOT faff. I'm probably going to try and do some bits in the engine bay, maybe like intake and bits and bobs, just make it sound a little bit more aggressive, but not like horrendous and not over the top. I'd quite like to do like chassis mount gear shift just for like race car feels. I'll obviously probably change the steering wheel at some point as well. Might chuck some bucket seats in it at some point in the future, but yeah, I'm kind of just going to go for like a bit of an OEM plus tracky car vibe because I have always wanted to have a track car, and I feel like this is my better option rather than the Civic, because this has obviously got more power to start with. And obviously with the engine, with it being an M50 B25, I can boost it. I could put a turbo on it if I wanted to in the future. So I will just see how I get on first on track. It's not about being the fastest, it's about having fun. The reason why I'm doing like a quick evening video about this on a Friday night is because I'm itching to get started with it. Itching. And I'm going to do some bits over the weekend, but I wanted to film it how it is now as I've bought it. So I thought I would just do a little walk around now, and then I can then show you what I'm doing as I go, because I don't want to start doing stuff or I've already done stuff and then be like, oh look, this is my car and this is what I've already done. I want to be like, no, like this is how ratty it looks right now, and then this is what I've done. Immediate plans for the weekend: coilovers and wheels off this are going to go onto that. I will just put the wheels on first and then see, but I think it's going to look dumb, so I think I am going to have to put the coilovers on just so it is a bit lower. In the future I will probably upgrade the coilovers, but for now I've got the template for the skirts coming, so once that's here I will then obviously be able to fit those, but the skirts and the bumpers need painting anyway. The boot I might hang off and do that a little bit later on, just make sure I get the bumpers in one colour first. I did go and buy a litre of Boston Green paint today, so I am ready. I've got loads of clear coat that's just arrived. I am fully prepared to get back in the garage and start painting stuff. I obviously need to put some bits on the inside back together, like the fact the door car's missing. Passenger window regulator needs to be replaced because that doesn't work. So yeah, it's just tidying it up for now, and then I will probably just drive it and enjoy it for a bit until I can then go get the manual swap done and everything. So yeah, but it's really nice to drive, to be fair. Like I know it's auto, but the auto box is so much nicer than like the one that's in my Civic, and also the one that's in the Vert. That's horrendous. Like when I look at it at the minute, I'm like, it does actually look really ratty. What have I done? But then when I vision the coupe that I want, it's really not far off. It's just a case of me doing a bit of paintwork and putting wheels on it and stuff. So I'm just sad it's not purple. Boston Green is one of the best BMW colours, so I can't be that sad about it, and worst case I could just paint it in the future if I really wanted to, but also it just feels a little bit criminal to paint over Boston Green, so I don't know if I could bring myself to do that. Blue Velvet is such a nice colour. It's rare as well because it is an individual colour. Also, I'm going to take my clear front indicators off and put them on this. I would like to get clear ears for this, but I don't know. I've also ordered a lip which has arrived to put on the bumper once I've painted it. So hopefully soon you'll see me driving around in a nice clean looking coupe and not this ratty thing. That's my little story time of why the Vert is no longer going to be a thing and why I now have a coupe. And no doubt I will probably film some bits over the weekend, or as and when I do stuff. No, it's already looked brilliant. So I hope you enjoyed that little story, and yeah, if you want to stick around and see how this turns out, please do. If you subscribe and turn notifications on, and you'll see as and when I'm doing stuff to that. I've also got loads and loads, and when I say loads, I literally have 6 filmed already, built by you videos. So there are lots of cool people and cool cars going to be on the channel very soon. So again, obviously subscribe, notifications on, and you will see those. If you do ever want to be on a built by you video, I don't know if you can message people on YouTube, but if not, find me on my Instagram and message me and we can sort something out, because I like to meet you and talk about your cars. So as always, thank you for watching. This was a very waffly walk around, and I don't know that much about E36s yet, but I'm learning, so be patient with me. I'm going to build a nice little coupe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.